Oftentimes today you hear, well, what's the importance of history? It happened back then. Who cares? You're about to find out. But please subscribe and make a donation to keep us on the air. Greg Piasetzki is a lawyer, historian, and you and I have discussed this because I hear it even from teachers. Well, that stuff happened way back then. Why do we need to learn? Aside from the fact that you're ignorant if you don't learn any history.
I think if you don't know your past, your future can be defined for you by someone else. If you understand your past and the principles.
Explain that for me.
Well, if we understood, for example, that Sir John A was in fact a great friend of Canadian indigenous people, we wouldn't be so open to the kind of outrageous claims that are being made against them today. We'd understand that they weren't true. And it's very demoralizing. Those claims are very demoralizing to Canadians as a whole to hear this kind of thing and have no pushback against it. They don't know any history to push back. The media aren't providing any history to push back. So they're left thinking, wow, could we have been that bad?
What about the history of bad governments? If you don't know the history of bad governments, you don't have anything to compare current governments to. Would that be fair?
I think that's absolutely true as well. And we've had some stinkers in the past.
Well, we have. The world has had some real stinkers. And I'm amazed, though, when I talk to kids in their teens, and they won't know who that Trudeau was prime minister in the 60s and 70s.
Even worse, they don't know we fought world wars with certain countries and the kind of breakdown of society that can occur in even advanced civilized countries like Germany or Italy.
So just tell me, though, because I want to reinforce this. I mean, you're educated. Some people say was educated, and we're older, and we understand the importance of history. But again, for somebody who is a teenager, who is watching this, to say, well, really, I don't care what happened then because it's not going to impact me now.
If you don't understand your past and know your past, you don't see the traps that are coming down the road towards you.
That is meaningful. You don't see the traps. Well, are those traps that are going to be coming down? And they are. There's no question about it in my mind. Yeah. Coming down with governments and with what forces do to people. Are they the same as what we had in the past?
If you don't understand what a fiscal disaster looks like for governments, multiple governments around the world, you're not going to know what to worry about. And believe me, the Great Depression, which was a 10-year disaster for the world and led to World War II, was a financial disaster that led to a bigger disaster in the form of a huge war.
What about censorship? Talking about 1984 and Orwell, we're way past that, but I mean, people are wondering, well, what does it matter that somebody's out there saying you can't say this, you can't read this?
You can't critique any proposal put forward by government or anyone else if you don't know the alternative visions that are possible. And so it's essential that free criticism be permitted of any idea.
Perfectly said, and thank you very much, Greg. 3 minutes. This show provides independent analysis of the issues. We are not paid by the government. And as I am finding, so much business in Canada relies upon various governments that they don't want to sponsor or advertise on a show which may become controversial, which talks about liberty, freedoms, sometimes criticizes government. I've had guests on that support the government. But people are saying, you know what? We don't want to bite the hand that feeds us, i.e. government, which is why I hope you'll subscribe and contribute to keep this show on the air.